Today is another snowy day for me here in Norway, and I thought it would be really great to come out and get some interesting photos. And obviously during this time everything's pretty much white, everything's really simple, so I thought it would be a great idea to come out and get some minimalistic kind of photos. I already have one idea on my mind, and it was actually a couple of videos back where I went out and took a photo of a tree in the middle of a field, but at that point there was no snow or even any ice, so I thought today coming out taking a photo of that could be pretty perfect, especially for the minimalistic style. I think this could stand out really well, so that's going to be my first shot. So I just need to go towards that direction and get to that tree, and then after that we can see what other compositions we can come up with. But I think already today I am pretty happy with being out here, and I think it's going to be quite a great one. Okay, so I've come out to where the tree is, and now it's just a matter of finding the right angle I want to get the tree in. There's only one thing that's a bit of a problem right now. I was expecting there to be a little bit more of a snow covering to cover up all these sticks that are coming through the ground. It's not exactly the picture I was looking for. It will still work for the minimalistic shot. Pretty much found the angle I want to shoot this in, and right now I've got the tree in a spot where I'm getting a little bit of some trees in the background on one side, and then they cover over onto a part of the hill, and then there's some more trees in the back. But what I want to do is actually shoot this quite low, so I'm getting a bit of the foreground in, or the ground in as my foreground. And what that will also do is actually cancel out the trees that are in the background on the left side. You'll still get a little bit on the right, but then the tree will kind of be completely by itself. And I think this could work quite nicely. I'm not going to use a tripod today because it is so bright outside that I don't actually need to. And already I've got it at 250th of a second, f5.6, and also ISO 160. So it's not like I'm having to put my ISO pretty much high up at all. So I'm holding quite a lot of detail in this, which is a really good thing. This is where minimalistic photography becomes a little bit difficult. I've come into this first, but generally it's quite hard to find something that gives you that minimalistic feel, because you're pretty much surrounded by trees. It's completely cluttered. So trying to single out something in here isn't always the easiest thing. So I'm gonna walk around in here a little bit. I might end up finding something. If not, I'm just gonna keep going. So I just found this bit of opening here in between the forest. I was on the opposite side of this at the time, and this tree here just really stuck out to me. It is up against the dark trees in the background, and it just sticks out quite well. But I noticed there's a lot of long brownish grass underneath it as well. So angling this correctly is going to play quite a big role in this, because I need to separate the tree from that so the tree doesn't become part of the ground. I don't really want to shoot this at a really high aperture because I want the tree to stick out as it is, and I want the background to be quite blurred out. Shooting at f2 is going to make the exposure really bright right now, which means I'm going to be able to lower my ISO down to 80 and pump up my shutter speed as well. So I realized I'm not actually able to get the shot the way I want to with this lens. And on the camera that I'm filming with, I have the 18 to 55 millimeter. So I'm actually going to take the shot with the camera I'm filming with. Hopefully the shot will turn out well. So I've just come out into the middle of this field here. I just saw the way the hill is kind of sloping up here, and I think this could work really well. My idea is to basically just focus on getting the ground in. I don't really want too much of the background in. I'll get a bit of the trees in the background slightly, but my main focus is to follow the lines through the snow and the grass here. I think it could create quite an interesting shot. I just want to get detail running all the way through. It's quite a hard one today to not just go around and take photos of trees. So this kind of spoke to me at the moment, and I think it will work. So let me just take the shot, and hopefully this does turn out to be quite a cool one. All the snow here is just completely untouched, and it's really nice. And you got a lot of these small evergreen Christmas tree style trees in the background here, which are just coated in this thick white snow. So I think I'm gonna focus on quite an intimate shot here and getting some close detail of those trees over there. I'm gonna try and bring out as much detail as possible. I might go for a shot where the background is slightly blurred out. So as long as I'm quite close to the trees, I'll get quite a good amount of detail out of it. But I think this could create quite a nice image. It might actually be the last one for today as well, but we'll just have to see. But I think this could look pretty nice, and it'll give me a little bit more play to be a little bit more artistic with it and find the right angle, or just what's going to work and something that's going to stick out a little bit. Obviously right now what you're seeing is quite a lot of different stuff, and it's quite cluttered, but even still the scene is quite nice, and even this as a whole could be quite a nice image. But as I said, I'm going to try and focus on the trees in the background there and see what kind of shot I come up with. So yeah, anyway, let me just take this image and we can take a look. Sorry about the sound right now. I'm not sure if it sounds bad, but the battery on my microphone has just died, so I'm having to use the microphone from the camera. But anyway, I thought I would take a moment to just take a break and have a quick coffee, because I'm quite thirsty right now and I have gone on quite a long walk as it is already. But I must say, doing minimalistic photography in this weather is actually really difficult, because obviously everything in the distance is quite covered. In one way that helps, yes, because it means everything else is not going to be completely visible, but at least with where I am, the only options I really have is taking photos of trees, and it can get a little bit boring if I'm just constantly taking photos of trees all the time. So I am trying to find other options to take photos of, but it's really not that easy, and with it snowing so much as well, it's a little bit hard for me. So coming to the forest right now is actually quite a nice thing, because it's less wind and I'm not getting the snow blowing in my face all the time. I'm just gonna take my break for now, and I'll see if I can find anything else. But I hope you guys do enjoy these kind of videos. It takes a little bit of time, and I love going out to do this. So anyway, let's just see where this video heads off. If I don't get much else, then I've at least put some effort in today and I've come out. So I found an interesting composition in here, and there's these little green trees just coming out of the snow, and you've got the tall trees going around it. I wouldn't necessarily call this minimalistic, but it's definitely a simple shot. And I just like the way the light is coming through in the background, coming through the trees there. It's just creating a little bit more depth and a nice bit of detail to this. I think I'm going to shoot a little bit lower so I kind of get the feeling of the trees being really big and great, and just capturing the small little green trees that are coming out of the snow at the bottom. So I'm going to shoot this image at 1/125th of a second and f5, but it's quite dark in here right now, so I've pumped up my ISO to 1000, which yes is going to add a little bit of grain, but it's not going to be that bad. Plus with all the snow coming through here anyway, it's just gonna look around the same. But I think this could create quite a nice little image. So I'm just gonna focus on getting the right angle and getting the shot. This should hopefully turn out to be a nice little image. It's been a little bit of a challenge doing this, and minimalistic photography can be pretty great, but it does get your mind thinking, and if you can't find things, it does make it really hard to do. So I actually think I'm going to come out and do this a little bit more often, just to push myself a little bit further. It does certainly make a difference to your photography. It makes you see things in different ways. But I'm certainly glad I did come out today, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode, and hopefully the images have turned out good. But obviously it's going to be my editing that makes the image that little bit more better, I guess, because it's my art at the end of the day. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you are new to the channel and have enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe. It really does help me. And make sure to press the bell icon, because that'll give you notifications of whenever I put out my new videos. And I'll see you next time.